Thank you for joining me. My name is Sherry Meinberg and I am the proprietrix of A Little Pot of Honey. And I just want to thank you once again for joining me on my YouTube channel. This is going to be my first video ever being posted, so I hope you enjoy it. Today we are going to be making a very basic soap. It's just going to be straight honey and oils. I'm not putting any fragrances into this. I'm not putting any coloring into this. The only coloring I'm going to try and do is I'm actually going to be putting honey into the soap, and on those honeys I've got a light wildflower honey and a very dark mountain fir honey, and so I'm hoping that with two different colors of honey we're going to end up with like kind of a really cool swirl. We'll see how that goes. So in my pot here I have my oils mixed up. My oils that I use, I have avocado oil, castor oil, cocoa butter, coconut oil, hemp oil, olive oil, and shea butter. And the reason this is so dark is because I do use a good amount of hemp oil. I do put 10% in, so it does get that darker green color when I do that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull our lye mixture over here. I am soaping at about 85 degrees, and into my lye I am going to put in sodium lactate. So the sodium lactate is going to allow my bar to harden a little faster, especially since I'm using all of that honey. It's going to be very sticky, so I want to make sure that it gets hard so I can actually take it out of the mold. I'm going to give this a quick stir. And then we're going to go ahead and put this into my... Alright, so as I said, I've got the sodium lactate added into the lye water. I've got my oils here. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to strain this. Go ahead and put this away. We're going to go ahead and we're going to blend this up, and then we're going to split it into two different batches. And like I said, that green color is coming from the hemp oil. With my company, A Little Pot of Honey, the two things that I'm trying to do is both bee preservation and cannabis education. But I discovered after a lot of research that you can't actually put cannabis into cold processed soap, because what will happen with both the THCs and the CBDs is the saponification process gets too hot, and it will destroy any benefits that you're going to get from those CBDs or the THCs. So financially, it's not worth it, and truthfully, ethically, it's not fair, because I can't sell a product that doesn't have what I'm claiming it to have in it. So I won't do that, but I've compensated that with the hemp oil. All right, so we're trying to get this to basically a nice trace, because like I said, I'm not doing anything besides just adding this directly into my mold. I'm not putting any colorants in or fragrances, so I want to get this to at least a decent trace. We're almost there. Oh, that got loud. So what I'm looking for when I'm looking for trace is basically for it to, when I move it across, when I move the spatula dripping across the batter, what I'm looking for is that it remains, a trace amount remains kind of on the surface, kind of looking like a ribbon. Kind of the same thing as when you're looking for like, when you're doing cooking, and you're looking for a ribbon effect in your cooking. It's the same idea. When you're, well, it's more baking. I think I'm happy with that right about there. And I actually am soaping fairly cool today. I'm doing about 85 degrees on both my oils and my lye. The big reason is because I am adding a lot of honey. So when I sit there and say that this is a basic recipe, it is fairly simple. I mean, it's just my oils, it's my lye, and it's my honey. But honey, when you throw that into any soap recipe, can become complicated because honey and lye react with each other and will actually heat your soap up. So if you're not very careful, if you're soaping hotter, you can actually end up with what's called volcanoing, where the whole soap gets so hot it just kind of pours out of your mold. And that is absolutely not something that I want. So to combat that, I soap cold, knowing that the honey is going to heat up this mixture. And the other thing is I'm actually putting more honey than is normally recommended into my soap batter. So normally when you soap with honey, you're going to be soaping with about 1 teaspoon of honey per pound of oil. I am doing a little less than 1.5 teaspoons per pound of oil, just because I kind of want to see what happens. And because that's exactly what, this is supposed to be a honey soap, so that's what I'm looking for, is a little bit more honey than not. So we'll see. This could go really wrong, and that was not the smartest thing for me to do, but we're good. Okay, just wanted to get this scraped off so it's not dripping all over the place. So into these 2 buckets, I'm going to add my honey. The first honey I'm using, I actually am trying to use all local honeys. So the one that I have for the darker one, in fact, let me actually do that one first. The darker one is a one from Harris Family down here in California. They go to our local farmers market here in Fullerton on our Thursday night markets. This is a darker honey. It's a mountain fir honey, and it's super thick. But I was super excited to try this in my soap. So so we're gonna go ahead and add this in, and I'm just going to, yeah, see how thick this is getting already? We're just gonna swirl this in. Get this all combined. I don't want to stick blend this anymore because the honey will actually cause this to trace faster. So I don't want to stick blend it too much more because I don't want it to go past where it is right now. All right, let's scrape this down. And then the second honey that I'm using, because I decided to do this today and try and see if I can get like 2 different colors using just honey, I didn't have a local honey that was lighter. So this is kind of a raw, unfiltered honey that I got from Costco. It does say that it's verified Southern California farmers, honey farmers. So I'm hoping that's true. I don't see how they could say that and it not be true, but we're going to use that in this one. And yeah, I know I make funny noises, it's fine. All right, so that looks really good. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to then do what's called an in the pot swirl. I'm gonna put this back into this bowl. I'm not expecting a lot of contrast, but I'm hoping that there's a little bit of contrast. We'll just see how this goes. I mean, like I said, I'm experimenting today. My biggest worry is, because there's so much honey going in here, is the volcanoing. So I'm going to put like towels under this and everything to make sure that, you know, I don't like make a mess. All right, so that looks good. Let's get the rest of this out of here. All right, and then we're going to pour that into our Brambleberry mold. And yeah, my Brambleberry mold is a little pink. The Pink Apocalypse of 2019. I was trying to do a breast cancer soap, and I went insane with the mica, and it went all over the place, and I just can't get it off, so everything's like super mica-y and pink. It'll probably be pink for the rest of its life. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just pour this in. Just like this, super simple, super because it smells actually really good, because because of the cocoa butter that I use. It actually kind of smells a lot, very chocolatey. We're just gonna go ahead and scrape this all out. And I made a little bit too much, but that's okay. We'll mound it up and make it pretty. I'm gonna scrape all this out, because when you scrape out your containers at the beginning, it makes cleanup a heck of a lot easier at the end. And cleanup is not my favorite part of soap making. So we're gonna pat this down. Pat, 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 pat. Get it into the corners here. And there we go. And that looks really good. I'm liking the colors. I'm liking that honey color, that real natural honey color, which is enhanced because of the hemp oil. That's why it gets that. Oh, it's a little blob of honey. Ugh. Let's try and mix that in there. Hopefully that's not a problem. All right. So, all right. So let's go ahead and put these aside. And there we have our honey in our mold. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to set up for a few minutes, and then I'm going to try and texture it and add some stuff on the top. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to texture this top, and then I'm going to add a little bit of bee pollen on the side just for a little bit of decoration. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to take our fork and we're just going to kind of pull this and I'm trying to make kind of like a little wave action over here. Yeah, I'm super happy with that right now. That's looking really good. And then on the back side, I have some bee pollen here, so we're just going to sprinkle a little bee pollen along the side here. Sorry, concentrating, I went quiet. All right, and there we go. That is my honey soap. So here we are. It is finished. We've got bee pollen on one side, texture on the other. As I said, the only thing that's in here are my oils, my honey, and basically, you know, the lye to make the soap. There's no fragrance in any fragrances are going to come from the oils and the honey, and the colorants obviously going to come from the oils and the honey as well. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed my video, and like I said, this is my first one, so hopefully these will start getting a little better. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and if you want notifications when I send out another video, go ahead and hit that bell. All right, here's a close-up of the soap and how it came out. I am loving the natural colors on here, and that bee pollen just really I think adds something special to it. I will be cutting this probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. It depends on how well it sets up. Like I said, I've never used this much honey in a soap before, so here we go. Hopefully this goes well.